for the next 4 years, and that will definitely be the focus on the LFM Morning Show today from now till 11 o'clock. But warm welcome to you, good morning, and thanks for joining in today, Monday 29th May 2023. Historic day indeed for the country Nigeria, and this is going to be an interesting show and an insightful conversation as well. This is the station for knowledge and entertainment, LFM 103.9. Kingsley, Bassey is my name.
And I'm Felix, Uzoma.
Thanks indeed for joining in, and you know what to expect on the show today. If you do not, if you're a first timer on the show, well, welcome on board. We love to have you in the family here on the LFM Morning Show. Alrighty, here's what to expect. The news would come up next, and when we're done with the news, we head straight to the newsstand for the cover pages, which is flooded by pictures of the President-elect Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who will be sworn in as president in a few. Okay, right, so there you go. When we're done with that, we go straight to the discussion segments. We call that the Discourse. We'll then talk extensively, when we're done with the newspaper segment, we'll talk extensively about the inauguration today, bring you all you need to know as regards the inauguration of Bola Tinubu as Nigeria's 16th president, and when we do that, we'll also give you the chance to call into the program and get your thoughts. And we have a big question for you today. What are your expectations of the next administration, the administration of Bola Tinubu? What is or are your expectations? What would you like to see him do, get done, sharp, as we like to say? All right, would love to hear from you when the time comes. Well, let's bring you the news right now.
This is the news on the Law FM Morning Show.
Thanks indeed for staying tuned. Early morning showers this morning welcomed the inauguration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as 16th president of Nigeria. The rain began as early as 6 in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory, creating a cool atmosphere in readiness for the event. However, there was light traffic along the ever-busy airport road, with only few vehicles plying the road. Inside the city center, traffic was also light as many people observed the public holiday declared by the government, while heavy security was noticed in some part of the metropolis. As at 8 o'clock this morning, the traffic gridlock usually experienced around the National Judicial Institute and around Abiola Stadium were absent. Traffic was diverted at strategic locations leading to the Federal Secretariat, where the Eagle Square venue of the inauguration is located. And in the build-up to today's inauguration, former Commonwealth Secretary General Emeka Anyoko has been awarded the second highest national award of Grand Commander Order of the Niger by President Muhammadu Buhari. He is the only Nigerian nominated for the category on the list of 340 awardees for the various categories by the federal government through its Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. The National Honors Award on the eve of the of President Muhammadu Buhari's exit would be handed over to recipients, or rather was handed over to recipients with fanfare on Thursday at the Ministry's office in Abuja. The Oyo State Police Command has arrested 5 Yoruba Nation agitators in connection with an attempt to take over a federal government-owned radio station in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The separatists attacked the Radio Nigeria Amuludun 99.1 around 6 p.m. yesterday. The suspects in police custody are Noah Atoyebi, Benga Deleke, Abdul Ganiyu Kolawole, Bashiru Kende, and Fajola Elijah. The suspects were said to have seized the studio, went on air to declare Yoruba Nation. Members of staff of the station scampered to safety when the attackers allegedly stormed the station with charms. In a statement after a briefing by the Commissioner of Police, Adebo Wale Williams, the command noted that the police will protect lives and properties as well as preserve law and order, even as the state and nation gear up towards the inauguration ceremony for elected leaders today. In business, the House of Representatives has approved an amendment to the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, raising the ceiling of ways and means advances from the Apex Bank from 5 to 15%. The House gave the approval at an emergency sitting yesterday. The Senate had earlier on Saturday raised the percentage at an emergency plenary. The Senate had approved an upward review of the ways and means advances accessible to the federal government from the central bank. According to lawmakers, it would enable the federal government meet its immediate and future obligations with the approval of the ways and means by the National Assembly and advances to the federal government by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Senate also passed another legislation that seeks to extend the implementation of the 2022 supplementary budget by 6 months from June to December 2023, which the House earlier approved on Thursday. On the foreign scene, Canada has announced faster temporary resident visa TRV processing and more considerate application measures. Making this known in a statement, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, Sean Fraser, said the new process is for families to be together sooner while they wait for their permanent residence to be finalized. He said that going forward, most of these applications will be processed within 30 days. An applicant will benefit from processing measures specific to their circumstances as spouses and dependents. The minister noted that many applications have already been processed using these new tools, adding that the process has seen an approval rate of 93%. Also, spousal applicants, along with other open work permit holders whose open work permits expire between August 1 and the end of 2023, will be able to extend their work permits for an additional 18 months. According to the statement, a similar option was recently offered to many with expiring post-graduation work permits. Those are the stories we're tracking from the local business and foreign scene at the moment. Let's now bring you stories from the judiciary.
And here are your legal updates. And now we must tell you that the Supreme Court has dismissed the suit filed by the People's Democratic Party seeking the disqualification of Bola Tinubu and Kashim Shettima as presidential and vice presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress. A 5-member panel of the Supreme Court held on Friday that the People's Democratic Party lacked the local standard to institute the suit. Honorable Justice Adamu Jairo, who read the judgment, added that the PDP acted as a meddlesome interloper and a busybody, as its complaint is that internal affairs of the APC. The court then awarded the sum of 2 million naira against the PDP. Recall that the PDP had claimed that Shettima's nomination as Tinubu's running mate was in breach of the provisions of Section 29 sub 1, section 33, 35, and 84 sub 1 and 2 of the Electoral Act 2022. The opposition party had further argued that Shetima's nomination to contest the position of Vice President and Borno Central Senatorial seat at the same time contravened the law. Similarly, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Friday dismissed an application taken to stop today's inauguration of President-elect Bola Tinubu, warning lawyers who filed frivolous petition to desist from it. In the main suit, the applicants have accused Tinubu of perjury, saying he lied about his citizenship and date of birth. The judge, however, asked the plaintiffs to address the court on jurisdiction on whether the plaintiffs' claim are already before the tribunal. After taking arguments from Counsel, Honorable Justice Omotosho ruled that the court had no jurisdiction to entertain a post-election case and dismissed the matter for being frivolous, adding that the court of first instance in such a matter is the Court of Appeal. Honorable Justice Omotosho then went on to award 16 million naira cost against the plaintiffs. And now to Labour Party matter. An Edo State High Court has dismissed the notice of suspension issued against the embattled national chairman of the Labour Party, Barrister Julius Abure, by some members of his Ward 3 executive in Esan North East local government area of Edo State. Delivering judgment on the matter, Justice Emmanuel Oke Aihomoje said the party's ward executive in Ward 3 lacked the power under the Labour Party constitution, particularly Article 19 and Article 17 and 19, and the Electoral Act 2022 as amended to remove the national chairman of the party. The judge in suit number HUC/21/2023 imposed an injunction against removing or suspending Abure as the national chairman until the national convention of the party is convened. Justice Aimoje held that the purported Ward 3 executive who suspended the national chairman of the party acted outside the powers vested on it by the party's constitution. And now to Ibadan, where an Iyagako magistrate court sitting in Ibadan has ordered two men, Sheriff Olaniyan 50 and Taiwo Yekini, to be remanded at the Ibadan Correctional Center for allegedly unlawful possession of firearms. The two suspects whose residential address were not provided were charged with conspiracy and unlawful possession of firearms. The magistrate, His Worship O.A. Ehilolobo, did not take the plea of the defendants for want in jurisdiction, but directed the police to forward the case file to the Director of Public Prosecution for legal advice. The matter has now been adjourned to July 31st for mention. And now finally in Lagos, a recent update from the Lagos State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal indicates that the tribunal has dismissed the petition filed by the All People's Party and the Allied People's Movement to challenge the emergence of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the winner of the March 18th governorship election in Lagos State, following the withdrawal of the petition by the parties. Counsel to INEC, John Bayeshi SAN, and Counsel for Sanwo-Olu and Hamzat Ayuba Kawu, and that of the APC, Abiodun Owonikoko SAN, did not oppose the motion for withdrawal. And that brings us to the end of the updates from the legal world.
And indeed, the entire news package on the Law FM Morning Show this May the 29th. Well, you can find more news stories when you visit www.lawfmng.com. You can also listen live there to your favorite programs anywhere around the world. Alright, after a short break now, when we get back from the break, it will be time for the news stand, where we review what the papers are saying across Nigeria on this inauguration day. Do stay tuned.
This is Law FM 103.9.
Make we yarn, make we talk.
Let's talk.
Make we jolly, make we get fun on 103.9.
103.9.
Law FM Lagos.
Your station for knowledge and entertainment. Let's talk. Let's converse. Let's have fun.
It doesn't get better than this. Does it?
103.9. Law FM.
My name is Dele Momodu, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. Your only law radio station.
Finest babe. How do you do it?
My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore, and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
Right here.
I'm Oluwadamlola Emmanuel, the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
It's time to visit the newsstand for cover pages this morning. What the Nigerian dailies reporting this May the 29th. You can expect, or you can know what to expect rather on the cover pages. It's flooded with one big headline, and that's all about the inauguration. I'm not sure which daily today would avoid that. There is no avoiding that. You've got to put it there. I don't know what your editorial policy is. Whatever your editorial policy is, it's got to be there somehow, and you can find that across various dailies this morning. Let's take you right there. This is the newsstand on the Law FM Morning Show. You're live on Law FM 103.9. I will begin with the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Tinubu takes oath of office today. His road to presidency. That's how the headline goes on the cover page of Nigerian Tribune. Let's see. It has these riders, Abuja, Agog, all set for his inauguration. Eagle Square takes shape. Security forces cordon off 3-armed zone. Governors-elect set for inauguration in 28 states. World leaders arrive. And you can find pictures of world leaders also arriving in Nigeria right there. And right there on the cover page of Nigerian Tribune today, there is also the picture of the Eagle Square, where all is going down as regards the inauguration of Bola Tinubu. Away from that story, the top of the page, Nigerian Tribune, from some of the cover pages I've seen this morning, I think Nigerian Tribune is the busiest. Okay, alongside First News newspaper. Alright, but let's go on. Police arrest 7 in Ibadan. Lagos as Yoruba Nation agitators attack radio police stations. Akintoye disowns perpetrators. You find details of that inside the paper today. But Tom hands over 187 billion naira debt to successor. Tom hands over 187 billion naira debt to successor. All right, how much is Nigeria's total debt right now? We're complaining about that. All right, we'll get to that story. 70 billion. We'll get to that story.
Both state and
all right.
Well, yeah,
we'll get there. Body discriminated against South. That's according to clerk inside Nigerian Tribune. Also, Ulubado, Anyoku, Emefiele, Oshoba, Dora, others for national honors. Buhari orders military to surrender the Balende Eid ground to Lagos Muslim community. Wants Lagos State government see of all that certificate of ownership issued to them, that issued to the Jamaatul Muslimin Counsel. All right, that's what the cover page of Nigerian Tribune looks like this Monday, the 29th.
And on the Sun newspaper this morning, you have bold headline: New era as Tinubu governors take oath of office. That's on page 16 of the Daily Sun newspaper. You also have agitators hijack radio station in Ibadan, attack police station in Lagos, page 4. Page 26 of Daily Sun newspaper, you have national carriers jet line flew in as Nigerian Air returned with passengers as Ethiopian airline sources. There's also a rider to that. It's grand deceit, says AON. Who is the AON? Who is talking here? Pick up the Daily Sun newspaper, page 26, to get more insight to that. I think that's basically all on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper, save for congratulatory messages from individuals on the president, to the president-elect.
Well, I did mention some of the cover pages. As a matter of fact, many of them are scanty with headlines this morning. But hey, let's go to First News. Loads of headlines. And guess what is the lead on First News today? It's an exclusive. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission places outgoing governors under close watch. Motawale, Yaya Bello, Tambua, Wike, Otom, top list as anti-graft agency deploys eagle-eyed operatives across states. That's a lead on First News, and it's not about the inauguration. But just underneath that, below that headline, you find United States delegation. African leaders arrive Abuja ahead Tinubu's inauguration, and you also find this one on the cover page of First News. Buhari has set traps for Tinubu, Shehu Sani alleges. Tom, and over that debt we talked about, 187.87 billion naira debt to successor. Declare your assets, investment. Setup tells Tinubu, and Gadaba Shehu also is reported on the cover page of First News this Monday. Says my worst experiences under Buhari. Let's go to the top of the page, cover page of the First News today. I apologize for pains my policies caused Nigerians. Buhari, that's according to President Buhari, says I'm leaving Nigeria better than I met it in 2015. My family doesn't need Nigeria's wealth to survive. That's coming from Remi Tinubu. And you have this one. Buhari confers national honor on Anyoku, Emefiele, Akonde, Oshoba, and others. Tinubu's inauguration will strengthen me. That's coming from the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, and that's what it looks like on First News today.
Yes, can we trust the Daily Trust newspaper to give us on news on the spot? Yes, you have Daily Trust today saying world leaders, others attend Tinubu's inauguration today. That's a bold headline. Beneath that headline, you have the kingmaker takes over the throne. You also have close to that, don't pity me, I asked for the job. Who is saying that? The incoming president. You also have cautious optimism in real estate as new administration takes over. Cautious optimism in real estate as new administration takes over. Say for that, you just have congratulatory messages as well from individuals to the president-elect. And we would move on swiftly now to the Daily Independent newspaper, where 8.7 trillion naira debt subsidy drain may wobble Tinubu's presidency. That's on page 29. You also have crisis brew in Cross River over Kali aircraft. Page 29, Buhari insists Nigeria now better off than in 2015. Do you agree with that? You get that news on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And say for that, you have other congratulatory messages from individuals to the president-elect.
Well, I've seen from just one individual. He seems to have done that across several pages this morning. But hey, we move. We're done with the cover pages. It's time to talk about these stories. You've heard headlines. What do you know about these headlines? Let's get deeper into these headlines, because you already know headlines can just be headlines. You need to know what exactly you're talking about. And joining us to do that this morning is a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Tunji Abdulhammed. Good morning to you, Tunji, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, good morning, Kingsley. Good morning, Felix.
Good morning.
Our listeners, I get you especially. Good morning.
I thought you were going to start with happy Inauguration Day.
Well, congratulations to the new president. I thought we were going there.
Okay.
I kept it.
Oh, okay. You left that for later. Okay, that's fine. Let's go there then. Since you mentioned that, or more like I made you mention that. Okay, so what's your mood like though for the inauguration today?
My mood. I have learned not to expect too much again, because before 2015. Most people have a high expectation of a change in our system, or positively, and but I have learned not to be too excited until I see results. I no longer praise his attempts or efforts. I wait for results. But in that regard, let me congratulate the incoming president, the man who has always been looking for this. Thank God for achieving his long life what's it called?
Dream, ambition.
Thank you, and aspiration. Thank you. Long life dream and aspiration. It's time for him to now take over and do the right thing. Today he will be sworn in as the next president of Nigeria. In that regard, he's going to take 2 oaths: the oath of allegiance and the oath of office. He will be pledging his allegiance to the constitution of Nigeria and to defend the constitution of the country. And he will also be making an oath of office to say, look, he will perform to the best of his ability. He will preserve the fundamental objective and directive principle of the state policies as contained in the constitution. He will not allow his personal interest to conflict with the interests of the country. And all such promises will be done today. And that would be the beginning of his regime. So we are going to see a new president today who will take over the reign of the country. And then expectation is high for it's not that high compared to 2015, because probably because of the legitimacy, the question of the legitimacy and the acceptability that is on ground. Because unlike in 2015, it was like we're in a Salah mood or Christmas mood at that time. But today, I guess everywhere is a bit silent, and people are not too excited regarding that. But I hope, when you don't expect too much sometimes, I hope Asiwaju will make us love him. When I say us here, I'm talking about Nigerians. Make them love him by delivering. Because when you don't expect and you see results, you become more excited in that regard.
Alrighty, just to know what your feeling is like, and that's a question we're posing on the show today as well to Nigerians. Are you excited about the inauguration today? How exactly do you feel? Are you pumped about it? And what again are your expectations of the incoming administration? What would you like to see them fix, real quick, from the economy to security, to education, to health, to infrastructure? What exactly would you like to see them fix? We'll take your calls when the time comes. Remember, 20 minutes past 10 o'clock, that's 10:20 this morning. We'll take your calls and contributions as regards that. But you can begin to drop your comments via WhatsApp, or you go to the Facebook Live broadcast going on right now, facebook.com/LawFM1039, and drop your comments there. Or you simply send in WhatsApp messages to 0703 227733. or 0909 555 1039. Alright, remember, 20 minutes past 10, we'll take your calls and contributions as we go on this morning. So let's engage some more. Tunji Abdulhammed is our guest on the newsstand this morning. Let's talk about this talk by the wife of the president-elect, Tinubu, who has said that her family doesn't need the wealth of Nigeria to survive. According to her, God has already blessed the family with what is needed to survive. She made the remark yesterday during a speech at the presidential inauguration interdenominational church service at the National Christian Center in Abuja.
Yeah, she's right in a way, because they've already had enough. Nigeria, God has blessed them. They've been in government for years, for over 20 years, and they've been in control of Lagos State. And the wife has been the senator for almost how many years now? There's been so if you talk about wealth or whatever, they have it in abundance. Even the son of the president, he has it in abundance. So, but to me, it's not about whether you have money or not. Corruption or doing well has nothing to do with whether you are hungry or whether you have much money. It's about the desire to do the needful, to do the right thing. It's not about people. We see so many people at the National Assembly, so many people as a minister, so many people as presidents, so many people who are what to do, yet they will be fighting over a little amount of money or little thing that they need not to fight over. So you can see if a man who has been minister for years, a man who has been a senator for years, who collects for over 40 million naira every month, can still be bribed with money, then it's not about money. So it's about the political way, the desire to serve the people, desire to. So what I expect from them is not about because they have money, that will not affect. That they won't steal money or they won't do anything. I'm not saying they are stealing money now or they will steal money now. I'm just saying that look, what is required is for them to have that desire to serve the people. Government is about service. Being in power is about service, not about increasing your profile or having much. Because some people have seen that, look, for me, take it or leave it, is debatable in any way. The President Buhari administration has shown to me that the president only came to become a president. He has no that desire of delivering or serving people. He didn't show it, or even if he has it, I didn't see it. I can't feel it because he was too lackadaisical in terms of approach to issues. So I don't expect. I expect this incoming government to have that at the back of their mind, that the essence of being in government is to come and serve. And when you serve people, when you have that desire, when you love your neighbor as yourself, definitely you will do good. Because if you see people suffering, and you believe that if I were in this position, I won't like this, then you will do things in a way that other people will feel it, the benefit of it. So I think it's well to say, look, we have money, and then we won't steal money. It doesn't matter. We have people who have money and yet they steal money.
It does not matter. Well, there's a matter that matters here, which is the EFCC placing outgoing governors under close watch. We get that from the first news. Matawali, Yahaya Bello, Tambuwal, Vicky, Otom top list as anti-graft agency deploys eagle-eyed operatives across states. What do you make of this news, Tunji?
I just hope it will not be a headline paper news alone. I hope they will put action into it. I hope we will see results, because similar thing happened in 2019, in 2015. Today, how many of them are in custody? How many of them have been tried and they're convicted? How many of them have been said to have been found liable or guilty or even prosecuted properly? I'm not aware of some of them. You can see, remember Governor Yofayoshe, why about leaving the office? You remember the drama as to AFCC looking for him, they were this and that. In fact, he brought himself to AFCC. Today, it's his story. Nothing has changed. So I hope it will not be a newspaper headline, what's it called? Information. There will be action in it. And I don't know why the emphasis is only on the governors. Why what happened to the ministers, what happened to the other PSA or this and that, or other people or agencies, those who are head of agencies and some other members of the cabinet? Why is it only the governor? Is it only the governor that are in government? Is it only the governor that the FCC has capacity to deal with?
What if the agency does not have anything on those persons?
They don't have what?
They don't have anything against those persons. They can't. That
means they are not serious. Why can't you have there are so many things that questionable issues. In fact, recently the Addis Abika's Nigerian air is questionable. We spent over 50 billion or how many billion to just to launch a logo alone, and then nothing has happened up to date. And then we have this humanitarian, the COVID, what's it called, palliative, and all those things that have been shared. So many other areas that need to be checked. There are so many questions regarding some of the ministers, some of the NDA, some of the there are so many corruption allegations against so many ministers and so many other agencies in this country. So I'm not hearing FCC talking about them. Why is it only the governor, the ex-governor, or the former governor? But that's why Awali said it should not only be restricted to them. It should, I agree with him. It should also be extended to other arm of government. You don't only look at one aspect. Look at everybody.
Please just hold your thought. Let's go on a short break. We'll be back.
Extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap, made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore, and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
Hold on tight.
I'm Olufemi Pedro.
I'm Omoyele Showore.
My name is Honorable Akim Dixon.
This is Honorable Adekunle Akobada.
I'm Dele Momodu, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. Your only law radio station.
Thanks indeed for staying tuned. Tunji Abdulhammed is our guest on the newsstand this morning. So you were talking about persons, individuals that should also be under the close watch of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, especially now that a new administration is coming in. But let's leave that story now and check out some more stories we've spotted from the cover pages this morning. And let's talk about this statement by the president that he has left Nigeria better than he met Nigeria in 2015. But before you comment on that, there's something vital that we need to talk about before we will probably wrap up the conversation with the segments, the newsstand, with that particular one, and that's on Samuel Otom of Benue State. Right, he's handed over already to his successor. Right. But that didn't come without enough debt and burden for a successor to look at. He said the total income that accrued to his government was 734.9 billion naira as of the 30th of April, while total recurrent expenditure amounted to 735.6 billion naira within the period under review. But he then explained that the state's debt profile was 187.5 billion naira. And he said the liabilities were inclusive of pensions, salary arrears, loans, and bonds. Otom also said he had negotiated a debt reduction with the federal government and obtained a debt swap of 71.6 billion naira. Tunji, what do you think of this? And before we talk about Otom and maybe crucify Otom, there are several other states where the outgoing administration is handing over with so much financial burden resting on the shoulders of the incoming administration. Let's hear your thoughts.
It's not strange, it's not new, and it's not restricted to Otom. In fact, Otom is even better in a way, if you look at it. I don't know why Otom's own is making a headline news, because even in Lagos State, it's almost $1 trillion debt is hanging on the neck of the state. So probably because they are not changing a government, because over $800 million, billion naira is said to be the debt of the Lagos, being by Lagos State. The River State, 200-something billion naira. So many other states like that. Even the Federation, 7 trillion naira. So it's not news as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know why that of Otom is making the headline news. In fact, because why if Lagos who has a debt of over 800 billion naira is not making the headline news? I don't know why it's Otom. That's not to say that it's good to leave a debt for your state. Most of these governments, governors and those in charge of our leadership, they don't care about us. They only do things to satisfy their own interest. When you look at the debt being incurred now that you have been said, when you look at what is on ground, you won't see anything, and they will tell you money is being borrowed and money this is that. So if we are borrowing, there's nothing bad in having debts. There's nothing bad in having borrowing money or owing money or whatever. But if you borrow money, we must know what you have done with the money, and then if we are seeing it, we will say yes. We'll be satisfied. We'll be consoled that look, at least we are seeing the effect of the borrowing. Or when you borrow money, yet you still be owing people's salary. You borrow money, yet there won't be any project carried out. You borrow money, and then there will be owing money. You won't see anything on ground to justify what you have borrowed. So that is the issue for me. The issue not about having debts. You can incur debt. Probably that is why Rivers State and Lagos State is not making news, because people believe that they are seeing something being done with the money they've incurred. Probably. So I think for me, we need to do well in terms of incurring debt and not doing anything.
All right.
For it.
All right. More so, these state governors also have pension, funds or schemes that keeps them keeps them, renewed, if I may put that word, till even way long after they'd left office. But we'll leave it at that. Two headlines we want you to comment on. I apologize for pains my policies cost Nigerians. Buhari says, I'm leaving Nigeria better than I met it. Then secondly, declare your assets, investment, Serap tells Tinubu. What do you make of these two stories?
Yeah, the president has the right to his own opinion, but I have the right to disagree with him. I want to disagree with him that he has left Nigeria better than he met it. In fact, for me, he has brought Nigeria back to 70 times backward, more than that. I think, which area? Are we talking about security? Are we talking about the economy? Are we talking, which infrastructure? You see, when we talk about infrastructure, we will be talking about how many now? If I ask you to carry it for me, you only talk about 3 or 4, and that's all. Out of how much? We are having 7 trillion debt. And you have a second Niger bridge that was started by a particular regime. We have raid that was started by a particular regime. We have which one again? We have Lagos Ibadan Road that was started by another government as well. So if you are talking about the income that was generated during this regime, vis-a-vis the infrastructure you are talking about, I will not say they've done well in that regard. People may be saying relatively because the previous government didn't do that, or they didn't finish it. Because one thing that is funny to me in this country is that's why you see most of the governors, whenever they before going, they want to ensure that the projects are rushed and completed. Because once it left and the incoming governor or president or whatever try to complete that project, they will forget that it was even started by another person. The glory will be given to that person alone, and that's why you are seeing here. So, as far as I'm concerned, the president has a right to his own opinion. I have the right to also disagree. And his apology, I don't know whether most Nigerians will accept his apology, because most of the policies that is talking about, people raise issue. People drew his attention to it that this policy will not help us, but they kept a blind eye to it or ear to it. And then they say no going back. People, if we are talking about policy that have given us a positive impact, and then we are in the course of that, we have some hardship, then we will take it and say yes. At least at the end of the day, there was light at the end of the tunnel. But in this case, there wasn't. I've not seen any light at the end of the tunnel. Is it the border, the closure of border that we're talking about? Is it don't go abroad and the president is patronized local content, and the president is the number one customer of foreign content? So you see, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe the president break it down for me. Maybe we can dwell on it and look at it. But to me, that's a general statement. The what's it called? The declaration of act. Yeah, it's normal. It's even in the law, whether the Serap says it or not. The failure to declare your asset before swearing in is an offense in our law. But unfortunately, we don't see them enforce those situations. And it's not even compulsory that it must be declared publicly. That's another thing there. You can declare. Probably they've already declared now. If you want to see it, you go there and see it. But whether with or without Serap saying it, is in the law. And if not failure to do it, it's an offense under the law.
Alrighty, there you go. We can confirm to you that the President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived at the Eagle Square venue of the inauguration, and it's a very funny scene right there with not chaos, so to say. That might sound like things have gone left as regards that, but no, but it's just it's just a few persons trying to maybe get hold of the president-elect, have a good view, shake hands and the rest, but that's the situation right now. Yeah, it's the man of the moment.
The loyalty will be to him now, and the more people will even, in fact, when you see the outgoing president comes in now, you will see the difference. The president maybe they will even beg people to escort the president out of this venue today. That's Nigerian for you. We have psychophancies and people who are not interested in a personal interest alone. You will see him now. The loyalty is about him now. It's about the look, and it's now his turn.
Alrighty, there you go. I will keep you posted as regards what's going on with the inauguration. The ceremony proper yet to begin. The president-elect just arrived at venue of the inauguration, but we'll keep you definitely posted. But that's the news stand this morning on the Low FM Morning Show. The conversation continues in a moment, but we cannot close the session without thanking Tunji, Abdulhammed, barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Having fun time. Happy inauguration again.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, cheers. There you go. Now time for a short break. When we get back from this break, we'll get to the discourse where we'll delve deeper into the conversations around the inauguration and the expectations of Nigerians. And at this point, you can also call in. We'll see your calls, by the way. Just wait till 20 minutes past 10 o'clock. You would get the chance to do so on the Take the Mic segment. Okay, on that Take the Mic segment, you get the chance to join the conversation and let's know what you expect of the incoming administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Alrighty, there you have it. That short break is right now. We'll be back in a moment.
Law FM 103.9.
The passion to be creative, innovative, to climb higher and take the lead is what drives us on the station that inspires. This is Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
Every individual should know about the law and their rights, because the law affects every aspect of daily living, irrespective of age or status. Law FM 103.9 ensures you get to hear the law, talk the law, and know your rights like never before. I am Khadija Okunulamidi. Keep listening to Law FM.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is
Rotimi Martins, aka Lion of Africa. You're listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity board. Hello guys, my name is Dele Momodu and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. Your only law radio station.
welcome to the Discourse on FM 103.9. This is the station for knowledge and entertainment. And yes, feel free to call this your live coverage of the historic inauguration ceremony in Nigeria today. Today we witnessed the swearing-in ceremony of Tinubu as president, as a matter of fact, 16th president of Nigeria. A momentous event that marks a new chapter in the nation's political landscape. So hey, feel free to stay tuned as we delve deep into this significance, into the significance of this moment and its implications for the country and its citizens. We'll be exploring the journey that has led Tinubu to this pinnacle of leadership, the challenges he faces as he takes on this prestigious role, and the aspirations and expectations of the Nigerian people. And I would have a guest, of course, a political analyst and an esteemed guest who will provide insightful commentary and engage in the thought-provoking discussion about the future trajectory of Nigeria under Tinubu's presidency. We would also be hearing from you across the country what you expect as you share your hopes, your concerns and aspirations for the new administration. So you want to stay tuned right there to the station for knowledge and entertainment as we provide you live updates and also engage in this compelling conversation surrounding this momentous occasion. Together, let's witness and reflect upon the dawn of a new era for Nigeria as Bola Ahmed Tinubu takes the oath of office and assumes the highest position of leadership in the land. Well, joining us to talk about this morning, as we remember, though, by the way, just before we introduce you to the guest, remember that at 20 minutes past 10, that will be the opportunity you get on the Take the Mic segment of the Law FM Morning Show to join the conversation, right? So you want to stay tuned till that time where you can also call in or send in messages. We're streaming on Facebook as well. You can drop your comment there. Before we introduce you to the guest for the morning on the Discourse, let's go on a short break, a short commercial break. I'll be back in a moment and we'll get talking. So stay tuned right here,
where we take your business from where it is to where it should be.
You are listening to Law FM 103.9. Don't touch that dial.
Finest babe, how do you do it? My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity boards.
57 minutes past 9. Time to get talking. It's Inauguration Day, and the 16th President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in a few minutes would be sworn in. Well, that's happening at the Eagle Square at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. I can confirm to you that world leaders are present. The president-elect arrived the venue a few minutes ago. The vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, just arrived, just stepped out of his car and is walking to his seat. And we'll see things begin in a few minutes. Since the vice president has arrived, hopefully the president arrives in a few minutes from now. If you know how that works, right? Alrighty, there you go. Let's introduce you to our guest on the Discourse this morning. Is Dr. Bello Osigwe Sonny. A very good morning to you. He's a public affairs analyst and will be talking to us about the inauguration today and the expectations of Nigerians. Hello there, good morning, Dr. Bello, and thanks for being on the program.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Bassey. And it's a pleasure being in your studio today. And I say good morning to Nigerians.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Doing this alongside Counsel Felix. Uzoma.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so let's begin. I'd just like to know. I know that naturally, I mean, from what I know of Dr. Bello Sonny, is a man of high spirits, always in high spirit. What's your mood today, by the way, as regards this inauguration?
Yeah, you rightly said it. Nothing too much of a change, but of course I'm optimistic because the blood of this nation runs in my vein, and as it is with many Nigerians. Today mark a very significant day in the history and in the annals of this nation. If we miss it today, the next 4 years again will be years of turmoil. And so being optimistic is the fact that the handing over will be done proper whilst we wait for the outcome of the various litigation that is against the election that brought up this supposed handling over government.
Interesting. Alrighty, so let's get down to that. Well, we've spotted the president of South Africa also present. That's Cyril Ramaphosa. He's been spotted at the venue. The vice president currently exchanging pleasantries with the president of the Senate as well as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Somewhere there also you find the National Security Advisor. You also find the former State Governor Rocha Sokorocha. There, dignitaries flooding the red carpet there at the Eagle Square, and things about to get started. Well, I suppose we await the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari, whose term, of course, officially expires today, and he said he's going to be leaving for Dora, or is it Nigeria?
And he's leaving better.
Yeah, he's left Nigeria better than it came in 2015. So, but let's get down to the thick of things, Dr. Bello. Essentially, the conversation today, as we witness the inauguration, would also be to discuss the expectations of Nigerians. We've seen in the 2 terms of President Muhammadu Buhari, of course, there were expectations. Nigerians in 2015, on this day in 2015, were very optimistic when the president stepped up to that podium to say, I am for everybody, I am for nobody. Right, or is it vice versa? I am for nobody, I am for everybody. Right, there were so many expectations, of the president at the time. Whether he has successfully met those expectations or not, that's a conversation maybe for later. But today, the man of the moment is Abdulhammed Tinubu. What are your expectations of his administration?
First and foremost, I'd like to correct an impression from you, my friends, right there in the studio. So that you don't offend Nigerians that are listening to us today.
All right.
There is never a way you can say Buhari is leaving Nigeria in a better state than he met it. Let's get one fact clear. President Muhammadu Buhari is leaving Nigeria worse 100% backward than what he met. And I know Nigerians are listening to us. We are not here in your Law FM to play political statements or bigotries, because a lot of Nigerians are listening to us. Even the bloods of the innocent that have been wasted under this regime are also listening to us. So they will be expecting us to put things in a proper perspective, regardless of whose gods is us. However, and having said that, as it is with every nations in the world that practice democracy, even ours cannot yet be described as democracy. But let's just believe, for the emphasis of today, that we are handling power from one democratic setting to another. And so you are expecting the nomenclature of what we have in the Eagle Square today to be massive. The kind of dignitaries you expected to see, for the mere fact that potentially Nigeria is referred to as the giant of Africa, even though that is why I use the word potentially, because that statement should not. And if from the various expectations or the numerous expectations that Nigerians are expecting to see right from 2015, and all of us were disappointed, it becomes a political shamble every time we give Nigeria the appellation the giant of Africa. But like I said, so much is expected from the Eagle Square today. We expect to see major dignitaries, but don't forget, if the United States, who are the major practice of democracy, if the president himself cannot come, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris cannot be here, and then you can't even see the Secretary of State to be sent to such an important and epoch-making event today, and you are sending the minister of whatever, the Secretary of Transport or whatever the secretary was to come and represent the United States, is to telling you that something is wrong somewhere. As we get along, we'll be extracting that. But I can tell you for free that Nigerians are not happy.
All right. This is Dr. Bello.
Yes.
I want to say that what you have said, the president had made his opinion, and don't you think he's entitled to his opinion based on his assessment of how he had conducted or led the country for the past 7 years plus, and which he would be handing over today? He is saying that he had left the country better than he met it. He will tell you that there have been developmental strides, developmental projects that have been, executed by his administration. He will also tell you that there's been considerable, appreciable improvements on the security and welfare of Nigerians. Are you saying that the president is not saying what is the fact? Because what I'm saying is, you might be entitled to your opinion. That's your opinion. And besides, you are saying Nigerians. It appears you are now speaking for Nigerians. The president is saying, as the president and commander-in-chief, I have assessed my work, and I'm saying that I am leaving the country better than I met it. Why do you disagree with him?
All right, my friend, you don't write your own exam and mark your own paper. You don't write an exam and mark your own exam. So I agree with you when you say Mr. Buhari is entitled to his opinion. That is his opinion. And let me quickly also say this. I'm entitled to speaking for Nigeria because I represent the ordinary masses on the street of Nigeria. I hear, I know, I see, and I feel what they feel.
So would you say that your life, yes, you have been better or worse compared to from 2015 to 2023, if you make a comparison?
All indices prove that we have been worse. There's no gainsaying. We don't hide it. But like I've told you now, Mr. Buhari has liberty to his own opinion. Garba Shehu, Femi Adesina, and all his spokesmen, and all those who have white-pent Nigeria, even though the nation is in a gloomy state, they are all entitled to their pontification. But I represent the citizen of Nigeria, and I'm speaking for the vast majority, over close to 200 million ordinary Nigerians out there who have felt the blunt of this government. Tell me now, let's start statistically. In what way, or you measure, in what area of life will you say Buhari has measured up? In what area of life?
In what area would you disagree that he hasn't? Since he has said he has, in what area would you say, all right, look at this, for example, look at this, look at that. The president has not done what he promised.
All right, let me give you some some typical example. Recently, when they were having their valedictory meeting, when the FEC was having their valedictory meeting, after the meeting, you had Adamu coming out to say to Nigerians, that is one out of the 44 ministers that this man appointed, saying to Nigerians at the time Buhari appointed him to power to head a very sensitive and critical sector of any country's economy and nation, the educational sector. You had Adamu said he was a novice. How do you bring a novice to head the academic sector, the bane, the fulcrums of what defines a nation? My friend, you have 44 ministers in this country. Can you name 4 of them to tell you how unpopular and how wicked this government has been? You say Fashola. Let's speak Fashola, for instance, the Minister for Works. When he was the governor in Lagos State, we all were clapping for him, and he made a categorical statement that he has denied. But thank God for the internet, and I guess he's listening to me now. But you knew that the former governor of Lagos in Fashola told us, if this government, APC, that have so much done us so much evil, and if I don't even speak for Nigeria, I speak for myself and for my family. You remember Fashola made a categorical statement that to produce power in this nation does not require, I'm quoting him, does not require rocket science. 8 years down the line, they've not even improved on the 3,000 megawatts that they met. What are we saying? Is it in the economy? I can tell you today, for free, when this government came in 2015, and I know Nigerians are listening to us, they met the dollar at 157, and at the time it skyrocketed to 220 naira per dollar. And every one of us were angry. We felt Nigeria, the sky would just fall on this part of the world. Today, I'm talking to you, as at yesterday, the dollar is exchanged for 154, and for 754 naira per $1. What still, my friend? The Ghana economy, let's even leave America and return back here. The Ghana cedi is about 57% increase as against the naira. So when you hold a 20 Ghana cedi, you are exchanging it for 1,000 naira. What are we saying? In every strata, is it insecurity? You know the magnitude of lives.
All right, doctor.
Yes.
Okay, so let's shift focus back to the inauguration today, and that's largely because on the Law FM Morning Show we've taken time in previous days, last week especially, to examine the achievements otherwise of the outgoing president Muhammadu Buhari. But just to mention and remind you there that aside the inauguration of the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the inauguration of 28 governors will take place across the nation today. Of this new set of state leaders, 16 members of the All Progressives Congress, 10 of the People's Democratic Party, while the Labour Party and the new Nigeria People's Party (NPP) produced one governors each. And 7 re-elected governors of the All Progressives Congress will be inaugurated for second term. They include Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, Dr. Abiodun of Ogun State, Abdulhammed Abdulrasaq Kwara, Inuwa Yaya Gombe, Mai Malabuni of Yobe, Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa, Babagana Zulum of Borno State. The party also secured wins for 9 candidates, right? That's Umaru Namadi in Jigawa, Aliyu Ahmed of Sokoto, Diko Rada in Katsina, Ubasani in Kaduna, Bassey Otu in Cross River, Mohammed Bago in Niger, Hyacinth Alia in Benue, Francis Nwifuru, beg your pardon, Francis Nwifuru in Ebonyi, and Nasiru Idris in Kebbi State. Those are the candidates for the governors elected under the platform of the All Progressives Congress. On the other hand, 3 re-elected People's Democratic Party governors will be inaugurated. You know, Sheyi Makinde for your state, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi, and Aminu Tambuwal, also in Sokoto. But 7 first-time governors were also elected on the platform of the opposition party. They include Peter Mba in Enugu State, Moeno in Akwa Ibom, Simini Layi Fubara in Rivers, Kefas Agbu in Taraba, Caleb Mfutwa in Plateau, and Sheriff Oborowori in Delta. And in the historic win, PDP's Dauda Lawal unseated Zamfara State Governor and All Progressives Congress power broker in Zamfara, Bello Matawale. So there you go. That's what you have. And then another historic one would be the emergence of Abakabri of Kano State. That's the one of the New Nigeria People's Party in Kano State, who unseated the All Progressives Congress in the state, while Labour Party's Alex Oti won Abia State, which had been a PDP state in the last couple of years. Let's now switch gears to the moment. President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived. The venue of the inauguration is right there right now, and the national anthem is ongoing as we speak. Should we go quiet and just stand still?
We have to. The show must go on.
Right. So we're telling you now, the national anthem, we can confirm to you right now, ongoing at the venue of the inauguration, the Eagle Square in Abuja. Let's talk expectations. In a few minutes, Dr. Bello Sani, the new president will be inaugurated, sworn in as the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What are your expectations?
Expectations are high. But let me play back to the historical antecedent of what you have reeled out. For Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal is going to the Senate.
Yes.
So they have a governor-elect there.
Yeah.
And then for if there are any of the inauguration today that will make headways, it's not even that of Kanu. Ganduje has no good report. So let's leave that of Kanu and return back to that of Abia in the person of Alex Oti. You remember
Yes,
the election
I'm sorry, Doctor. I'll let you continue your thought on the Abia State story. I just realized that while I was reading out the governors elect will be inaugurated, I did mention Aminu Tambuwal, which is the correction you were making. I apologize for that. Yes, there's the governor elect in Sokoto is Laji Ahmed Aliyu.
Oh yeah, Aliyu.
Yes,
that's correct.
Ahmed Aliyu, right? Just to mention that, and that's a governor elect in Sokoto State. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. I did mention Aminu Tambuwal. We're so used to Aminu Tambuwal in Sokoto State, but thank you so much. Yes,
and now he's going to the Senate, even though he's one of the problems the Nigerian politics is facing. But that will be for some other time when I have the opportunity to come over to your studio again.
Yeah.
But it is now the rave of the moment in all of this state, including what is happening at the Eagle Square, is Alex Oti. Like I told you, of all the elections that Mahmoud conducted, the most hurting, the most dilapidating election that this nation had ever experienced.
By what standard, Doctor? By what standard would you put that for?
By every standard, honestly. Honestly, you know, like I told you, Nigerians are listening to us. And so it behoves us to rightly communicate to them what they already know.
But so,
I mean, there's Adamawa states.
Exactly. So the same Nigerians would put certain, parameter standards, points forward to say that, well, the person they voted for is the person being sworn in today, for example. And some other persons will tell you, oh well, I went to the polls. It was smooth, it was free, fair, and credible.
That is your observation, but I can tell you from my own observation. In Lagos, for instance, in Lagos, I can tell you because I was supposed to travel out of the country. But I said to my host in the country I was supposed to go and to my family that this election is so critical. I have to be in this nation. I love Nigeria so much to be outside not to vote. And so I can tell you here in Lagos where I vote, it was one of the most erroneous election.
Tell us your experience.
Yes, I witnessed firsthand since the history of when I started voting over some 32 years ago. I observed firsthand of how some hoodlums in the name of representing APC here in Lagos approached our voting center and gave a marching order that if you are not, I'm saying it now on live radio, they told us, and I stood up to them, if you are not willing to vote for their candidate, Sanwo-Olu, all of you should leave here now, or else they will bath off it, they will pour acid on us. I'm telling you what they said to me. It's not whether I'm dreaming or perhaps I had it from somewhere.
I mean, but there were security agencies. Were there no security agencies?
Were standing there, policemen, over 3 of them, 2 men and a woman. They had these erroneous comments, and yet they could do nothing. Some people looked at me and said, yes, we can rally around this man. And that was how we voted. And I told everybody, you remain here until the vote is counted. I can tell you, Yakubu Mahmoud gave us the most wicked election in the history of Nigeria. You come to the Beaver, you ask me, what are my proofs? You say you are bringing up beavers. What are the effects of the beavers that Mahmoud wasted our billions, trillions on? You say there is deficiency in the transmission of our electoral votes with the billions we give to you 4 years before this election in 2023, and we are saying what we are saying now. No. There is nowhere in the world where a presidential election is conducted and the winner is proclaimed at night. There's nowhere. You don't proclaim a winner of an election 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. You don't do that.
And if that's when counting is done, what happens? We wait till done.
No. Normally in a sane society, because the head, if Tinubu is eventually sworn in today and power is transferred to him, he becomes the #1 principal agent of the nation. He wields all power, and with the kind of constitution we are running, the moment you are sworn into that office, you can do and undo.
All right, Doctor, you continue your thoughts. We'll plead with you to just hold your thoughts for a moment. Let's begin to take calls and contributions now. We need to understand, and you said, a few times since we started, that you're speaking for Nigerians, and you're representing a huge chunk of the population.
The office of the ordinary people of Nigeria.
Fantastic. All right, so let's hear from them. If they agree with you, if you really are speaking for these Nigerians that you say you're speaking for. 0703 2277 338 or 0909 555 1039. Again, the numbers to call 0703 2277 338 or 0909 555 1039. Those are the numbers to call. Let's begin with this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Pastor Austin, calling from First Society.
Hello, Pastor.
Austin.
Yeah, good. Quickly.
I want to actually support what that man there is talking about. I just tune in now, and I'm very happy with what he's saying. Now, let me just give you something to let us deliberate about this. If we are driving a piece of land and we went to court, before deciding on who owns this piece of land, can I go to that land and start building on that land? Let you who is in the studio now say, give me the answer. Can I go to that land and start establishing building on that land, on that piece of land? That is it. So Tinubu cannot be sworn in, or ought not to be sworn in until it's decided that this is the winner of the election. Because in my own polling group where I voted, the same scenario happened. Nobody casted vote. In short, by the time they want to see the viva, they told us that the viva they brought to our polling unit had been done, I think, to 12 that day. They said the viva belonged to another polling unit somewhere else. Which I know it was just fraudulently arranged.
And that polling unit you say is in First Stack?
Yes, I'm more area here, opposite First Stack, First Gate here.
All right. All right. Thank you for that.
I can mention the polling unit. Yeah. 3-1 or 3-3 there, 3-3. It was just total fraud because they know everybody that nobody votes for them. The first time we vote for the first voting we did was against them. So the second one, they brought a fake or another polling unit beaver to that place.
Beavers. Okay, that's for the governorship. Okay, very quickly. Now the inauguration has started in Abuja right now. What's your expectation for the next administration?
The person that is there right now, that is according to what they are saying, they want to become our president. He's not our president. He's INEC, Mahmoud's president.
No. Let's not do that. I'm sorry, Pastor. I'm sorry, Pastor.
No, that's the truth.
Pastor, I'm sorry. You did say there's a case in court, right? As it stands, this is the precedent, and it doesn't matter what emotions we carry. Yeah.
Yesterday for deliberating on who actually won. They were supposed to come to the court twice. They ran away from where are the judges that are supposed to be there?
So I suppose you don't have an expectation from this administration.
Group of the same old crop, so there's nothing coming out from there.
All right, thank you so much, then.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate it. 0703-2277-338 or 0909-555-1039. Hello there. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning to you.
How you doing?
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from myself.
All right. What's your expectation of the incoming administration?
Yes, my expectation is very great. And I'm very sure that Nigeria will now realize the change they have deserved for. Everything will go well in Jesus' name. But I just want to react to the previous caller who said he was speaking on behalf of the Nigerians. Let me tell you, he's not speaking the heart of Nigeria at all. But if by chance he had what happened in other regions during the election, he will not say what he has said concerning what he witnessed at Festa or wherever he said he voted. So that's my contribution.
Appreciate your thought.
Yes, he's not speaking on behalf of the Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your thought. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's keep the calls coming, and you can also send in WhatsApp messages via those numbers 0703-2277-338 or 0909-555-1039. We're streaming on Facebook. You can drop your comments there on Facebook as well. Do you agree with Dr. Bello Sani, who says, okay, I'm speaking for Nigerians when I say that we didn't have that much of a good experience during the elections. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Smart.
All right, Smart.
Yes. To be honest with you, this is the worst election I've ever experienced in life.
Do you understand? Yes. This is the worst election. We don't have president. What we have is president appoint. Do you understand?
Again, smart. I'm sorry. You're live on Level 103.9, and I think that it should be right to stick to what the law provides, what the law states, and that is what this station is all about.
The problem is that whenever someone...
So the facts. I'm sorry, smart. The fact is not that we have a president-elect. We have a president-elect who's going to be inaugurated today. And again, we can...
Is the inauguration bigger than the law?
That is why there are cases in court.
With cases in court, and you are inaugurating president today.
Well, the law is not against the law is not against smart.
When you're having a land dispute with someone in the court, would you go and be farming in that land?
And you see that's why the
case is still going on.
You see that's why the law is interesting.
I mean, in fact, this country, God help us.
All right, you were going to say.
I wanted to ask him. That's why the law is very clear on this. The law is not against litigating while the matter is still. I mean, he's been sworn in. If the court finds out that he was not validly elected, the court still has the powers to remove him from office. Nobody is bigger than the law. Ideally.
No.
So what I'm trying to say to Smart is that the fact that the matter is still in court does not obviate the fact that the court still has the powers if it eventually finds out at the end of the day that the election was not properly conducted. But as it stands today, the law is that he is the president-elect, and we must follow the due process of the law.
And that cannot change. Let's quickly get Dr. Bello back, to maybe just react to some of these calls. Dr. Bello.
Yeah, thank you. In fairness, I would have appreciated it if you will amplify in summary what those few callers I've said, because I couldn't hear them from my own end here.
Apologies. Yeah. So I think two callers.
Of course, I had smart.
Okay.
Aligning to my own thoughts.
Yeah.
As one of the people I represent. So I don't know what about
two other callers aligned with you. One caller did not, by the way, and is of the opinion that the election was fairly conducted.
No, when you don't forget, everybody are entitled of their own opinion.
Exactly.
And so when you hear anyone who is aligning with the election that Mahmoud conducted as credible, then you know from my own opinion also that person has a questionable character. Now, let me.
Would it be fair if the person said same of you about your opinion?
No, I won't. I will accept it. Except otherwise, if my opinion is not the true case here.
But for the person, that's the truth.
Okay.
That's the person's truth
now. Now let me quickly buttress a point. My friend there, your other colleague,
Counsel Felix,
said something that is supposedly ought to be so when he says no one is greater than the law. He said that now, and that's correct. But I can tell you submissively that this government that is packing back to Daura had proved to be bigger than the law of the land in so many instances. And now you want the National Assembly to approve 700 billion naira for you to pay your cases that you lost. No, now let's sit down at one time and then reason well. So there are certain individuals, starting with Mr. Buhari, who is going back to Daura now, that have shown that they are bigger than the law. Let me give you an instance, because this is Law FM. So let me give you an instance. I'm from the South, right? But the Supreme Court, which is the apex court of the land, had asked that Nnamdi Kanu should be allowed his freedom. Did Buhari obey that court, that judgment? So we have people who have lived above the law in this land, and let's get that correct. However, coming back to the inauguration, proceeding of today, we are receiving it with mixed feeling. In the one hand, we are looking at an Asiwaju who, whether you believe it or not, is a master strategist politically. That's whether anybody believes it or not. He's a master strategist when it comes to political affair. But I would have had one question to ask him. In most of the TV station I have gone to speak my mind by privilege of invitation, I have posed that question. And Nigerians are hearing me today. They can, for those who are listening to me, whether in Silverbird or in Kakaki, they will not have asked the same question. I would have loved to meet Senator Tinubu one-on-one and pose this question I want to ask. The question is this: can he beat his chest and confidently say this was the Nigeria he almost lost his life on? This was the Nigeria for which he joined NADECO and fought the military government of their days? Will Tinubu beat his chest to say this was the same Nigeria for which he fled on exile? That is just the one question I would have loved to ask. I have no rancor about him. He has his political aspiration. If in one way or the other he got it, glory be to God. But this is the one question I want to ask him. Is this the Nigeria for which he joined NADECO? Is this the Nigeria for which he almost lost his life? And is this the Nigeria for which he fled into exile?
All right, Dr. Bello.
The president-elect.
All right, Dr. Bello. In a few minutes, I can guarantee you that the president, I can't guarantee until it happens, but in a few minutes, we can anticipate that the president-elect ceases to be the president-elect and becomes the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's because as we speak, the vice president-elect, Kashim Shettima, just stepped down after putting pen to paper and indeed taking his oath. Yeah, let's take this last call before we wrap the session. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome. Yes, good morning.
Kindly turn down the volume of your radio set.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Fantastic. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah.
Yeah. My name is Joel.
All right, Joel, go on.
Yeah. I want to thank. The thing is reflecting. I'm hearing my voice. So I want to thank the guest in the house because he saved my mind. He saved my mind. Deep down in me, I'm not happy about this inauguration. They are not running country like this. Are not done this. You can't force the president. The matter is in court. The thing, nobody, even Buhari say he left the country safer than the way it was before. In what aspect? You fight. The first statement that he made, he said we fight this Boko Haram, all this thing. But those people are still terrorizing the country. They have not done anything. See, everything is all outside, and he said he leave the country safer. So deep down in me, I'm not happy. And the inauguration. Yes, I'm not happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It means you have no expectation.
All right, Joel, thank you so much. He's left the line already as we speak. The president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is stepping forward to take his oath of office and well at this time sign. First put pen to paper and sign. But I want to especially thank Dr. Bello Osigwe Sani for being on the program on the Discourse on the Law FM Morning Show. Thank you so much, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Only that you didn't give me the opportunity to say my last word.
Please, very quickly, in 60 seconds, your final thought.
All right, strong expectations from this government because the moment it takes that oath of office, it becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So many things are expected. Number one, it must unify Nigeria. This country is divided among so many lines. Religion, tribal, even divided in corruption, which is one of the legacy the President Muhammadu Buhari administration and regime will be handing over to this. And we pray God that Nigeria will prosper.
Thank you so much. What a fine way to draw the curtains on the discourse. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, and indeed for the Take the Mic segment. I appreciate you for also calling. Thank you so much, Dr. Bello Osigwe Sani. Hope you have a fantastic day. Yeah.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Alrighty, there you go. That's a conversation on the discourse. We'll switch gears to Industry Hub in a moment, and we'll talk about something fundamental. Did you know that the House of Representatives they've tweaked the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, and they've raised the percentage for borrowing from the central bank by the federal government by an additional 10%. It used to be 5%. They've raised that to 15%, which means that the federal government can borrow more, from the central bank. Well, as we speak, Abdulhammed Tinubu is taking his oath of office as the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We're off on a short break. When we get back, we'll tell you a lot more about what's going down at the Eagle Square in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
This is Law FM 103.9.
Hold on tight.
I'm Olufemi Pedro. I'm Omoyele Showore.
My name is Honorable Hakeem Dixon.
This is Honorable Adekunle Akobada.
I'm Dele Momodu, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. The only law radio station.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Rotimi Martins, aka Larry of Africa. You're listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
Leaders of the country today, tomorrow has come. Law is meant to be understood by everyone in society, irrespective of age or status. No bias. It should be clear and precise. Law FM 103.9 gives you the best content, and they are here for you. My name is Khadija Okunulamidi, and I urge you to keep listening to Law FM 103.9.
I will implore you, in addition to your course of study, whether you want to migrate, whether ASU is on strike, acquire one or two skills. Short skills that will always be relevant. Please, you never can know where you will need such a skill. I am Engineer Olaomi Gaspar, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. This is the station for knowledge and entertainment, FM 103.9. And yes, as we discuss the inauguration and tell you what's going on right now, we can confirm to you that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken his oath of office and has been sworn in as the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, as we speak at the Eagle Square in Abuja, I will bring you further details. He's currently putting pen to paper right there on the podium, standing alongside his wife, the outgoing president Muhammadu Buhari, as well. But let's switch gears real quick to a fundamental conversation, and this is about the economy of the country. We've seen several borrowings in this, under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, and just yesterday, the Senate took further steps to legalize further borrowings, and it used to be 5% to collect in terms of ways and means advances from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Yesterday, the House of Reps then agreed with the Senate to move that to 15%. Joining us to talk about that this morning is Jide Ujo, who joins us via phone from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Jide, good morning to you, and thanks for joining in.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, Jide, just before we get to that conversation about the ways and means of the central bank, you want to very quickly, just share your thoughts on the inauguration so far.
Well, I'm greatly relieved that this event has come, and against all the prophets of dooms and naysayers, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been inaugurated. He has taken the oath of office and oath of allegiance, and he is now officially the 16th president. Recall that there are a lot of prophecies from many pastors. He's going to be arrested, and it will not happen, and all of that. You see, when God says yes, no human being can say no. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Yoruba man. I'm just more concerned about the survival of our nation. How can some people have this pathological hatred for somebody? Hello?
Go on. We're with you, Jide Ojo.
Pathological hatred for... If this is a man, many Nigerians don't give you a chance to emerge victorious. There were so many obstacles on his way. From the time he declared his ambition, through the primaries, through the campaigns, and even ahead of the election, we saw fuel scarcity, we saw Naira redesign, and so many obstacles, too many litigations, as if he's the first president of Nigeria. Last Thursday and Friday, Supreme Court had to decide 2 cases, and Federal Court Abuja had to decide a case which were filed against his inauguration under one guise or the other. So, for him to have survived all of these onslaughts, it shows that the prophecy of God in the Bible is in the Bible in Romans 9:15 and 16, which says, "I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy; I will show compassion on whom I will show compassion. There is not for he that wills or he that runneth, but of him that showeth mercy." And that when God says yes, no human being, no prophet, no pastor, no general overseer can say no. So I'm relieved that at least there's no power vacuum. I'm relieved that the transition was smooth, despite the orders, despite the hiccups, despite all attempts to use judiciary to truncate and thwart this day. So to that extent, I can only pray for his success, the success of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because like I've said on several media platforms, there is not going to be any honeymoon for him. The expectations are very high, and he has said yesterday at the inauguration dinner that Nigeria should not pity him because he asked for the job, and that we should hold him to account. Of course, I intend to read this the New Dope agenda the ATP documents on which he campaigned, and I believe myself, the media and civil society should track the implementation of these campaign promises, so that we can hold him to account as the days go by.
All right, so let's very quickly get to the Central Bank of Nigeria Ways and Means, which has now been increased by the Senate, and that was hardly done yesterday at a plenary, an emergency plenary yesterday, and moved from 5 to 15%. Very quickly, your thoughts on that?
Quite unfortunate, very unfortunate that this has to happen. But people in government will tell you it needs to happen. I don't 100% believe it should have happened. Because this Ways and Means, by the way, 22.7 trillion that was approved recently by the Senate, the money had already been spent. So these were monies printed by the Central Bank for Federal Government of Nigeria over time. And if you recall, the governor of Edo State, Governor Bassey, way back in 2021, I said that Nigeria is broke, and we have actually been printing money to augment the revenue shortfall to be able to meet the obligations of government. As at that time, the outgoing finance minister and the CBN governor all said that he was lying, that there is nothing like that, but only for them to now try to legitimize what had been illegally done. Because the approval should have come before the spending. But now you are giving a retroactive, or is it, how do I call it? You are backdating something that had already been done without the approval of the National Assembly. I felt if due process were to be followed, the National Assembly approval should have been received, and the limits of 5% should have been respected, and unfortunately that didn't happen. Long story short, the National Assembly, again acting retroactively, decided that given the fact that Abdulhammed Tinubu may have to also borrow so much to be able to maintain some form of stability in his government, needs to have the threshold to be able to do this borrowing a little more flexibly. So that's to me is the context in which I see this expansion or increase in the threshold for the borrowing from 5 to 15%.
All right.
But then the question is, my brothers, should we be borrowing? Can't we? Are there no other alternatives to these Ways and Means and borrowing as the government of Buhari winds down this very second? We are told in some circles that Nigerian debt portfolio ranks about 77 trillion naira. That is quite huge. And now that they have increased the borrowing limit from 5 to 15%, that means that perhaps maybe in another 1 year we'll be looking at maybe 100 trillion plus in debt, which is not ideal, because I feel that quite a number of other alternatives are there for us to be able to, at least if I'm going to borrow very little. But look at oil theft. One of the sore points of Buhari administration is that as a military general, he could not solve the problem of oil theft in Niger Delta. Just this week, was it last week, the CBN governor was lamenting that our oil production, the one they could account for, is 1.1 million barrels per day out of 1.8 million barrels per day that the 2023 budget was premised on. So Buhari could not solve the problem of oil theft. He could not solve the problem of corruption. He could not even reduce the cost of governance. Imagine, I said it on Channels TV yesterday night, from having 36 ministers in 2019, despite the fact that they said we don't have money, Buhari decided to increase the number of ministers to 43 in the second term. Does that show a country that is hemorrhaging? Does that show a country that is borrowing to fund its budget? So there are so many things that should have been done, which the Buhari administration failed to do. And that's why what I saw in his farewell speech yesterday was just self-adulation that amounts to nothing but illusion. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Jide Ojo. We've got to let you go now as we draw the curtains on the program. But thanks for sharing your thoughts on this. Maybe in coming days, I would talk even further. You've established the implications of this, especially for the administration of Bola Tinubu, who's now been sworn officially as the 16th president of Nigeria. With this new rise, or this increase in the percentage from 5 to 15%, there are several implications for the new administration. It means that there are further grounds to borrow, by the new administration. But we'll see how that goes in coming days. Where we can get your thoughts even further on this. Thank you so much. Jide Ojo is a public affairs analyst, joins us from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
All right, have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Best wishes always.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. Well, that's that. We can confirm to you that the new president of Nigeria is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is standing side by side now with the outgone president Muhammadu Buhari. How time flies! Just this morning, you could not but address Muhammadu Buhari as president of Nigeria, and it's what 10:53 as we speak, and you'd be addressing Muhammadu Buhari as the former president of Nigeria. Well, that is life for you.
Absolutely.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, now being sworn in, and of course that doesn't take away the ongoing litigations at the election petitions tribunal, and that's what Nigerians must understand. Every single one of us, irrespective of what emotions we hold as we got this nation.
Yes, well, for those who might not really understand why the president, had to go through taking oath of office, if you check the constitution, there are constitutional provisions for this, and you see that on the 7th schedule of the constitution, where there's stipulations as to either you are the governor, deputy governor, the president, vice president, all the officials in government, are mandated to be administered the oath of office, and that's just what we are witnessing this morning.
That's right. And may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria now that we have the 16th president. Alrighty, we'll draw the curtains here today. It's been the Law FM Morning Show, the special Inauguration Day edition of the show. Happy holiday to you. And indeed, again, may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Good morning.